Hey, this is Coach Willie, the holistic trainer, and this is a technique for myofascial release of the muscles that run along the back of your neck and head. One particular muscle group we're going to be focusing on is the occipital muscles. To perform this technique, you're going to need a small ball like a lacrosse ball. Now, when you're first doing this technique, I may suggest that you start with a tennis ball, which is quite a bit softer, and then progress to a tool like a lacrosse ball, which is harder and denser. It's going to give you a better release, but it's more invasive. So starting with the tennis ball is best if this is your first time doing this technique. To perform this technique, we're going to be lying on our back. And we're going to take the ball and place it along the back side of our head. So it's slightly above my neck, right along the back side of my head. And the occipital muscles are on either side of your neck. So when we're doing this, be mindful to not place it directly in the middle of your head. We don't want to place it against our spine. We want it slightly off to either side. Once the ball's in place, gently lean your head back, allowing your muscles to relax into the ball. You shouldn't feel too much pain. In fact, it should be rather relaxing to do this technique. So only press down as much as is tolerable. If you start to notice you're getting discomfort or maybe something that feels like a tension headache, I would back off from this and reassess whether or not this is an okay exercise for you to do. Maybe begin with the tennis ball instead of the lacrosse ball if that's what you started with. Now, once I find the position that I'm in, I'm going to slowly start to move my head back and forth until I can find that pocket of muscle along the back side of my head. If I find any areas that are sensitive, subtly tender, or I notice a muscle that's knotted up, that's what I'm looking for, and I want to rest on that spot and take 5 to 20 slow breaths. And the goal here is to just relax as much as possible. You don't want to move around too much. You want to just allow the ball to sink into those tight muscles and be as relaxed as you can. You can do a little nodding motion with your head to see if you can adjust and find a more sensitive area. As you're doing this, you want to try your best to not let the muscles slip out from underneath the ball. So as I'm moving, you may find a more tender area or a muscle that's knotted up. Try to pinpoint that spot and don't move too much to where the muscle slips out to the side like you just saw here. When you're done with one side, you'll repeat this technique on the other side. Again, move your head slightly back and forth, trying to isolate any stiffness or tight muscles that you can find. Just to reiterate, you don't want the ball to be right along the middle of your neck. You want it slightly off to the side. So we're hitting the muscle groups and not the spine. When you're doing this technique, set a timer for 2 to 5 minutes and do one side of your neck, and set another timer for 2 to 5 minutes and do the other side of your neck. If you notice there's a substantial difference between the two sides, spend more time doing the side that has more stiffness or discomfort. And this is myofascial release for the muscles running along the back of the neck.